Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. Here on this rainy, kind of cold day here, I find myself one of those rare times with not too much to do. So I pulled out a book I had written in 2019. It's a book of my poetry. It's called Poems Practical. There we are. Anyway, I'm honored that it won 9 gold medals on allpoetry.com and 15, there it is. 18 silvers and 15 bronze. I wrote 442 of them. And I thought I would simply start reading some. And when you get bored, you get bored. This first one is about from my childhood. It's called In the Back, when I used to go with my parents to these little cabins. And in the back it was this, you'll see, this is about my wandering in the back. This was in the days before you had to be supervised. I may have only been 5 or 6, but I wandered back. And this poem is called In the Back. With pail and shovel, toddling to the open back, past black-eyed Susan, Queen Anne's laced brocading, then a lawn of swamp, rimmed in cattail, hot dogs on sticks. I muse weird, pterodactyl swooping me, cawing, cackling, flinging me down onto the cattail barbecue. Plodding back, tripping on a divot, I stop. If I dig enough, China? Like Mike Mulligan, but with shovel polystyrene, teaspooning toward Shanghai, it's hard. Maybe a China boy digging will halfway meet me? Dark slithers in, sounds amplifying, eyes widening. China will have to wait. Pattering like metronome presto, I'm stopped by Mirabilis Maximus. Firefly! Fireflies! Martin, where were you? Nowhere. What'd you do? Nothing. Okay. Next poem is called Metastasizing Dandruff. Pipes clogging. Skin sinking like old socks, nothing staying up. From beige to gray to ash, or red to purple to blue, embroidered in red cobweb, on a checked, then flaked background, metastasizing dandruff. My coal mine's canary, warning of collapse black, swings me between terror red-faced and resignation gray. Would we shake that skin like a snake, for new and again begin. Next one is called If I Were Earth's Emperor. Replace the 200 states with one. Earth. Reverse the discrim with worth. Fossil fuels with nuke. School with VR, MOOC. MOOC, those are a term a few years ago for these large online courses, ideally taught by great teachers. Language strange with business ethical. Tenure replaced with method methodical. Big guns with big tax refund. Hip-hop replaced with music top. Gridlock replaced with flying car. Income tax form with sales tax large. Shark lawyers with wiser neutrals. Arcane U's, that is universities, with just-in-time modules. Gov bloated with version sleek, meaning replaced with version sleek. 4-year campaigns replaced with just 2 week. Silly shopping replaced with poemy stance. That's what I would do as Earth's Emperor, fat chance. The next one is called Battering Ram. Intense as a battering ram, the world erected battlements to resist me. Dare and I stoke me, my ram spouted tank tires and race car engine, barreling ever faster until the idea smashed into sharp shards like pickup sticks dropped. Then my ram rested refractory, ready to come again, but slowly my ram cracked, tires leaked, engine clogged until it collapsed, and all smashed it into toothpicks. I'm going to skip through a bunch of these to those that I think are at least worthy of your time. Crayola. A 20-year sentence school was. Boredom torture on a Ritalin leash. September shopping, sadness suppressed. Fresh notebooks, pens, and Crayola. Anesthetizing fragrance, and the colors. Periwinkle, cornflower, burnt umber, raw umber, midnight blue, forest green, vermilion, carmine, silver. The sharpener didn't work, but each year, 64 freshies, dulling less than me. Skipping. This one's called Cleaning Up for No One. The floor I sweep up, dog fluff, poppy seed, paper clip. The floor I mop up, coffee drips, lettuce shards, tuna drop. The floor I vacuum up, airy dust, fleas, more dog fluff. The sink I scour, tomato seeds, coffee grounds, scone mix drips. The toilet I scrub, pee and poop remains, including the inside rim, in case someone finally comes. Next one is called Men as Beasts of Burden. Me Too, sitcoms, movies, ads, even, quote, news media deem men animals, panthers preying, donkeys braying, sloths slothful, in short, turkeys. But short-shrifted evermore, men they conveniently ignore, the beasts of burden, yoked to jobs soul-sucking, body-busting, by responsibility to care for wife's spending, kids wanting, parents needing, working fuller full-time on jobs backbreaking literal, plumber, miner, roofer, rat remover, or figurative, shark-fighting lawyer, to fire wrestling fireman. How many 9/11 firemen were women? So next you hear the media jeer, men are jerks, ignore that liar's den. Think of your life's men. Skipping. Ode to Mr. Grungy. Comfy at home I scribble, thanks not to the gods, but to Mr. Grungy, an ironworker sweated to smelt my chair's base, my lamp's shell. Mud tape guys like Maud Daubers built walls, while roofer precarious prevents being a poet soaked. And far below, diggers and cementers' hand grunted the foundation so all will stand. Yet benighted colleges and media lapdogs dub Mr. Grungy inferior to college grads pumped full of flotsam, helping no one. Here's to Mr. Grungy. Continuing to scroll down, see what might be worth your time. Environmentalist of faith. Excuse me. In uniform green, in God's handiwork basks, peering birds through his glass, the environmentalist of faith gliding like a pope to his Prius. In gridlock, he's grateful, with no freeways long built, that people, from fear or from guilt, are forced to stay home, freedom killed. But such never crosses the mind of the environmentalist of faith kind. To all but the bumper sticker he's blind. It's just a matter of faith. Tailpipes, greater spewing, carcinogens polluting. Per mile in traffic there's more. Then there is much time wasted, plus the psychic pain for dubious gain, requiring worldwide kumbayati for centuries on centuries, to hope to lower the temperature a few degrees. And what would he say to the people of Norway and Sweden, Finland and England, Canada, Russia and China, not to mention Iceland, who'd freeze even more? But that never crosses the mind of the environmentalist of faith kind. To all but the bumper sticker he's blind. It's just a matter of faith. Continuing to scroll down here. Sorry, but I don't want to read you anything that doesn't feel like it's worth your time. Okay, this one is called Merit's Requiem. Merit lived long, from Athens' podium through Da Vinci's brush, Schopenhauer's skewer, Fleming's syringe, Churchill's bravura, Bernstein's too, Streisand, Spielberg, Clinton, Bill, that is, TV, Google, iPhone, to the front page poem. But, wresting a mere cent from merit to the least among us, metastasizes until too many healthy cells are strangled. What remains? A gray, fey, ignis, eldritch, mephitic, malign miasma of manufactured, monocultured mediocrity. Scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. Continuing to scroll. All right. This one is called Beware of Gold. Very short. Most gold is plated, brass or tin within. Like people too polished, bedecked bodies hiding, devilish heads and hearts, and bedeviling others. This next one is called Exercise. They'll look back at our self-imposed, self-paid torture chambers that buff us into shape unsustainable. More muscle to turn to butter, like a 50-year-old footballer, or we run, meniscus fluid, failing with each step till we limp. Trust Grandma. Walk. Scrolling, scrolling. Okay, this one is, I wrote after the poem, famous poem, Richard Corey. It's called Outsy Woutsy. His Rolex kept perfect time, reminding him of the sort of need to tootle into worky-poo with his $200 due and Sooty Poochie Hoochie Coochie in Limo Longino for his seven-finger Sinecurino. He took a meeting or two, and more he could do, but that would crimp luncheon, and by 2:30 it was time to say toodaloo. He gulped a Manhattan in his Manhattan clubby-dubby, sauntered outsy-woutsy, and blew his brains out. Recycle the college. Most courses yield too much rind, too little fruit, most rotting fast. So recycle those tiring, grumping, dying branches, indeed the whole fungused tree, the college. When needed, or mere wanted, click, click, voila, star-taught, just-in-time mod. That means module, I mean. Why is that not the norm? Colleges are glaciers, and students are sheep, of course. This one's called Housetrap. The mousetrap clever rodents avoid, yet into the housetrap people jump joyed. For seduces the picket fence dream, teased more by slithery spousey cream, brought to buy by bumper sticker meme. It pays not to rent but to own. Look at zoomed house prices in this zone. So buy you the house and the dream. Behind that door wealth and contentment to be seen. But when it shuts behind, not a dream, but the green albatross smothers, furnishing to gardening to insuring. For dwindling is a job enduring. Evermore they get gigified, tempified, offshored or eliminated, wresting your mortgage payment. So foreclosed, embarrassed are you, as neighbors whisper, as the truck moves you down the flue. Or all's well except that prices that soared sometimes get floored, especially from atop the bubble. But good tidings, contentment more likely resides, where the green albatross does not hide. Okay, continuing to scroll down. Ode to $3 Chuck. Evidence 1. 3 wines, frou-frou experts brown bag tested. Wildly different they were rated, though all were the same. Evidence 2. Consumer Reports rates $3 Chuck atop the slate, white and red, which Big Buck Jacques hates. That's why I smirk, as shoppers twerk over Big Buck swill. Call me a hick, $3 Chuck air I pick. You see, my taste buds are dumb, barely can tell red from rum. So to me, $3 fantastic in my goblet of plastic. So I raise said tumbler to the fools who blunder, keeping the industry a wonder, making a winery owner rich, though a dunder. Scrolling down, another one about houses. It's called Was It Worth It? Strolling rent-free near Mance's. Now, by the way, I was really walking around this neighborhood, just strolling as a way of being walking rent-free, near Mance's mansions. Strolling rent-free near Mance's laced. Windows fancied and lawns primped. Roofs turreted, all 3-color wrapped. I wonder what owners seeded, C-E-D-E-D. Ethics tainted, time frittered, talents wasted, kindness buried. Okay. This one is called Pat the Pro-Pol, meaning politician. To the crowd white, for the wall we must fight. To the arena Latina, amnestia, amnestia. To the class uppers, you're taxed too high. To the class lower, soak the uppers. And in private, cut deals with fat cats, hep cats, and tiger media. So as always, male or female, Pat the Pro-Pol wins. Scrolling. Okay, this is kind of an ode to moderation. It's called Left, Right, Left, Right. Folks are sure as sunrise that right is wrong. Others are sure that right is right. I waver more than a toy flag in a cyclone. One morning, Robin Hood more. The next morning, only fools choose dry wells over gushers. One morning, borders are geo-accidents, so open the doors to square the dice roll. The next, open borders swirl the world's waters till all drown. One morning I say, government's got good heart. The next I say it wastes our cash more than Hummers waste gas. I can't change any of it, and even hot airing just raises BP now that we're more polarized than the poles. So I think I'll just write pretty poems. Scrolling. Okay, this one's called The Conservative. The tanks roll down to the bridge, radiating $1 toll. A bicyclist strains up to the bridge, his toll, a pound of gold. He pays, knowing his words must be heard, lest the bridge ungird. He speaks, he shouts his word, but the tanks roll over him, until he's ground into the bridge. This one's Requiem for them all. Predictable that sleek buying machines, that's I'm referring to like Amazon, would squash larded warehouses. I'm talking about them all. But miss I will those bazaars, and that isn't bizarre, but B-A-Z-A-I-A-R-S, skylighted simulating grandeur. Grieve too I for adulthood's beginners and its enders, now jobless, who must learn bits and bytes, numbers and spreadsheets of zero interest. So, though malls may be emblem of excess true, I will miss you. This one is called Expectations. I'll read it. What the hell, I started already. Expectations shriveled. From the womb, he buzzed like pompons in overtime. Colically, his parents sobbed too as his terrible twos stretched into terrible decades. Physically reticent, verbally pugilistic, a combo dynamitic, yielded years on his back not in sex, but as pummelee. As adult, too sure that others wanted truth, his intentions cosmic dismissed, the world did resist, hurtling him into hermitage. Now with coffee strong, doggy weak, he prays his pen is mightier than editors' delete buttons. But with the networking success of a gnat, and reveries reviled as rat, he but exhorts on AP, that is allpoetry.com. His lusts now shriveled to getting a reader's response. Next one is Resurrect Duty. Thrown into a coffin by Nazis, with final nails placed in the 60s, to cheers of the lazies, the virtue of duty is pushing up daisies. Yet, duty is ingredient one on deed's label, from sink cleaning to disease curing, a virtue worth resurrecting. This one's called The Heavy Hole. H-O-L-E. Purses by Coach, breakdown mobiles by Benz, address by Tony, as in Tony addresses, fancy addresses. Jules Diamond, not phony, more by Gucci, Poochie, Hoochie Coochie. Owners, empty of life's true worth, producing little of real girth, and giving faux love, so get a dearth, stuff and stuff, silly stuff, to fill their life's heavy hole. But the hole bears, like a leaky boat, a gap that can never be filled until the owner is stilled. December Love. My leaves fallen, I crave another tree bare, with branches bowed with ripe fruit, and with pith yet soft. Scrolling. They keep shortening our chain. Long ago, the green machines shredded all freeway plans in favor of trolleys that circle empty. By the way, that isn't made up. In Napa, they had these trolleys, and it was part of the green movement, and they kept circling, and nobody ever was on them. Anyway, so I'd like to shop there, but it's 10 miles away, a half hour each way. Oh, well, I'll go. That job would be cool, but it's 10 miles away, an hour each way, maybe I shouldn't. My friend's dying, but it's 10 miles away, 2 hours each way, too long. The green machine ever shortens our chain. trapping us at home. By the way, it's really true. The San Francisco Bay Area, at least, and I think it's nationwide as we're moving into this new world. A while back, the Green-dominated Metropolitan Transportation Commission, in a, quote, forward-thinking effort to force people out of their cars, passed an edict prohibiting the building of any new freeway lanes for the next 20 years. And no matter how much mass transit they build, it's a nightmare to get anywhere, and the population has increased a great deal since then. Anyway, okay. Okay, this one's called Meritas. All festivals laud inclusion. Meritas would exclusion. All could attend. But of our 6 billion, only the top 10 best, the peak of human Everest, could mount the stage august. The creator most successful and ethical. The non-prof exec most beneficial. The teacher who taught best. The researcher who leaped the rest. The all-poetry poet with the most golds alive. Those are 5. I don't mean 5 examples. Who would you add to the hive? Let's see. A can of peaches. Prepare the soil. Plant the seedling. Water. Feed. Spray. Yes, must spray. Repeat previous 3 steps for 5 years. Harvest. Can. Ship. Stock. Pay shareholders. Price to consumer, $1. This one's called traffic. Choked, strangled, I'm chained in traffic, or at home to avoid it. Can tailpipes spewing, mainly stop, little go, be so surely green as to warrant resting scarce time from us all every day? This one's called Had I Been a Lion. Long told it's right, I've been a lamb. Now they urge, be loud and proud, if you're not a white male. Maybe they're right. The world has, like gnats, flicked away my counter-wind, titanium-held, lamb-expressed beliefs, while crushing me into a lamb patty, at once raw and overcooked, tossed into the restaurant's excess food bag, where even the homeless brush me away, in favor of more popular meat, so I stare, decomposing. Let's see. This one's called Poor Ivy Leaguer. My big realized hope was Ivy's thick envelope, but my deal was mainly loan, so my folks mortgaged their home. And though props soporific and stress horrific, the kids were fun and the diploma door opening number 1, or so I thought. 50 queries, drew interviews few, and all said, not you. Then the home loan letters warned of repo netters, so I shelved the dream and scooped ice cream. But even adding Uber, I couldn't keep paying, so our home teetered, swaying. And though we pled, they modified, we stalled, the repo man finally called. So we lived with Grandma till she died leaving us whole, including the damn loan, which let us buy back our home. This is called The Peach Fuzz Piano Player, and this is a true story of me. Too young to shave, let alone to drive, for $25, I cabbed to my first gig live. In I crept, wood worn, floor gook, drink stink. What you want? I'm the piano player. Not a prayer. No, really, I swear. At Dive McCoy, I figured my best ploy was Danny Boy. And the Polloy, to my joy, crooned, oh, the pipes are calling. And so began my piano calling. A valid interview. Tell me about yourself, your greatest strength, your weakness latest. Like horoscopes, such scripts won't reveal I'm the one. Next time, like a prisoner of war, I'll refuse to answer. Hell, I'll show, not tell. Forward to the board, lead a meeting, show good tweeting, probe their minds tin, their meaning their tin minds. Then, raising my chin, order with pride, now decide. Ode to English. What a language English is, affording colorations subtle as between Pantone C201 and C202. Rather than ode, one could try encomium, to retain the feeling Roman, while adding formality, refused by no man. The word paean adds poeticization, while panegyric adds deification to the equation. Extolling downgrades a bit, and praise drops it another hit, while modernizing it. Or in current parlance, or is it argot or jargon? English could be considered awesome. This one's called Career Counselor Corrupt. Flawed stones pass through my conveyor belt. Cracks and crazes bondoed. Bondo is, by the way, what they use in cars to patch up a car that has minor crash. Inclusions varnished, fading misclaralled to seem like top diamonds. But when my CZs are deemed diamond, lose we all, the worker to society. For the true number one must slink unproductive, unwanted, betrayed by me, the gift wrapper paid, while the false number one imposes tax tall on boss, co-workers, customers, on us all. Let's see. Continuing to scroll. Continuing to scroll. Again, I don't want to. I've already taken too long. It's already 32 minutes. I don't want to read anything that isn't really good, or at least that I don't think is really good. Maybe it's at this point it's meant for me to stop. I'm going to take another 20 seconds, and if I don't see anything that isn't worthy, I'm going to, this one I want to read. This one's called McCarthyism from the Left. From the ancients on, to trade in ideas marketplace fully stocked has been diamond, even in constitution enshrined. But speech open, alive, societal pillar potent, has burned to cinder. McCarthyism, so long derided, yes, like Phoenix, is resurrected by its former Jesuses. Add a sand grain to the beach, ja, but dare question the beach, wash you away, drown in the undertow. Deem affirmative action net negative, wash you away, drown in the undertow. Deem merit-based immigration wise, wash you away, drown in the undertow. Deem white male, quote, privilege earned, wash you away, drown in the undertow. You will add but ungrain unto our sand. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Really short one. This was a haiku. I called it media fair, as an F-A-I-R, like a carnival. Carnival barkers pitching truncated quote reports, manipulating us full. Let's see. Okay. This one's called My Prozac. Prozac? Like a screaming baby to your sex drive? Exercise? Like crack feels good, but too sure to jive. Shrinks? Like a friend charging $150 a pop, I'd rather shop. Shock treatment? Electrodes, high voltage nose? Maybe not. Music? Sex booster, no pain, free, no electrodes. Music is my Prozac. This one I like. It's All Water Under the Bridge. Buddhists know, my Holocaust survivor dad knows, everyone but shrinks know, it's all water under the bridge. Looking back for long more likely yields mire strong than lessons learned. The answer is gratitude that the water flows opposite of your direction apposite. Scrolling. Scrolling. See. All right, let me see. I think I'm going to look for one more and then that's it. Okay, I'm going to end with this one. It's called The Making of a School Shooter. Born white, male, and odd, to parents busy, his oddness metastasizes like concentration camps in the 40s, as peers shun and the message in ad, film, sitcom, even curriculum screams, girls rule, boys drool. His Zyklon balloon fills and fills and fills until in his school, lair of his Nazis, it explodes. I can't end on such a negative note. I gotta find something that's positive to end with. Let's see. Well, I breed roses as a hobby, kind of a serious hobby. So I'll end with this brief thing. Rose. Tight bud, inexorably spirals, more and more perfect. Its transience perfects it yet more. A rose everlasting is lesser. There's always another bud, which completes the perfection. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I'm Marty Nemko. I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments and especially like it if you hit the share button below. Share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel, which mainly consists of my self-help advice regarding career, relationships, money, meaning of life. Maybe these poems have some bearing on any of that. I occasionally intersperse my piano playing and or reading other people's work. But in any event, I do thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.